Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure, we're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun. Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist, and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpole Grand Duke throw open the gates for them. Yes, but first, a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it? As would I, and more. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the Cult of the Dragon made its move.
The Cult of the Dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat and intend to summon her to Faerun.
To conjure the Dragon Queen and lay waste to Baldur's Gate. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Will wants to show you what happened. In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. As the maelstrom howls, Mizura's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city. I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 grayed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed. She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel. Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mizura's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie. It is the one scar I ever bore of it. Mizura replaced it with a sending stone. She uses it to track my location and speak from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world or the depths of the lower dark and still never shake her. He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mizura had swept it clean. I showed him my stone eye, but he only turned away. After, he said only one word. Go. So I did. I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. I understand. No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst. And Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither. More than you know. The better question is, did he ever miss me? If he did, he missed the Will Ravengard he once knew, not the hell-touched warlock he returned to. Orin, I'd never heard tell of, but Gortash I know. Or know of, more precisely. A self-styled strategic advisor to Baldur's Gate's peers. A bit player with dreams of a leading role, the way Father told it. He had no use for Gortash, and even less for his advice. I don't remember much beyond that. But where these Chosen are concerned, I have a suspicion we're about to know more than we'd like.
I can't help but feel like I've been fumbling in the dark for too long, and I've just had a lit torch thrust into my hands. Indeed. Under other circumstances, I might have been subdued or ashamed, but after what we saw, I must admit, I'm excited. The crown! The one the Elder Brain was wearing. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete, that I didn't even recognize it at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power, the ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it. That crown sits on a gargantuan elder brain bent on destroying us and everything we hold dear. Understanding its true nature might unlock the means of our victory. We need to learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere. As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep, Sorcerer's Sundries. I need to go there and learn all I can. Ha! Sorcerer's Sundries is no mere trading post. It's been serving the arcane community for centuries. Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away. You'll have to forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
Thou dawdlest, while time is...
Our enemies spread like rub rot. Treat one patch, and two more bloom in its place. An elder brain, bound by lost Netherese magic, with servants of the dead three holding the chain. Reminds me of old times. Aren't you? It is good to savor the moment of victory. But pace yourself. Our fight is just beginning. When we met, I was licking my wounds. An old bear with her leg caught in the hunter's snare. Now I've slipped free of the trap and rediscovered my claws. It's time for me to hunt my prey. You have a nether stone, and you're on the scent of two more. These Chosen have reason to fear you, and I would like to be at your side when you confront them. Of course, falling foul of Ketheric convinced me that my grand adventures were behind me. That even if I survived, I should hang up my blades. But you convinced me otherwise. We ventured into darkness together. Now we've come out the other side. I'd say I'm feeling a little refreshed. When we reach Baldur's Gate, there will be even darker paths to tread. I will follow you wherever they lead. How does it compare to a shadow-cursed inn? With the Absolute's army gone, the Risen Road should be clear. We can follow it all the way to Baldur's Gate. There's a Harper's safe house in Worm's Crossing. Denthelan's Dancing Axe. We do well to check in with them before entering the city proper. Beyond that, our course is yours to set. I can recall how to take orders, as well as give them.
I should speak up.
Thy hunger denied. Soluna's faithful yet shines. The balance shifts. Thou hast seen with thine own eyes and felt in thine urges. The dead three unite. There are depths to this alliance yet unplumbed. Consider, mortal. Do Illithids possess souls? No. Nor canst thou count mind flayers among them. Yet, the three amass an Illithid army void of apostolic souls that could imbue them with power. A flock without souls, yet to what end, O tempted one? This is the question thou must come to answer. Until such time, be availed of my services. Nothing thou dost not already know. Where matters of balance are concerned, I am eternally cold. Yes, Bane, Lord of Darkness, Baal, Lord of Murder, Merkel, Lord of Bones. Once judged, ascended, then vanquished, as one, and as three. The Alliance is reforged, mortal. The plains thus quake, and the gods shudder.
One problem at a time.
Helen! Isabel! My love. You were dead. I saw your body. I'm here. And so are you. And my father, he can't hurt us any longer. I dreamt every night that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo.
I had no dreams at all. Nothing but darkness. And when I woke, my father said you were dead.
His soul was poisoned by the god of death. His sick devotion ruined him. But for all his sins, He brought you back to me. Are you all right?
I will be. And you?
In this moment, I want for nothing.
Ah, there you are. This is Aelin. Aelin, this is...
Oh, but we have met. This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy, and fought well against your changed father.
May he rest in peace at last, now that he's dead. I have more to thank you for than I knew. And we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later? We look forward to it.
You there, Sharon. By the fires of your camp's hearth, we will discuss all we must.
I'll be ready. Whatever you have to say had better be worth your life.
Now, you will leave us. We must take succor in one another's bodies and words.
Aelin! We'll see you later.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
No faith left behind.
I'm glad that's still the case.
Well done putting Ketherick in his place. Couldn't have done it better myself.
You did it! You squished Ketherick! I knew you could do it! Even if Moll said you couldn't. Now you've won, can we go home? Matter says it's not far, and I'm tired.
Without him, I wouldn't have lasted long. Any word on Nathaniel? And the curse? A flaming fist? A novice, actually. She dropped everything to make sure I made it here safe. Duke Elton would be proud of what the Order has become. A pity they cannot spare the resources to help you with Nathaniel. Sorry, I didn't mean... I'm just worried. Please. I don't know how much longer Nathaniel can last in the Shadowfell. Help him. And hurry.
Nathaniel rests well. He's healing very rapidly, now that Oliver has returned to him. I knew I could put my faith in you. If only we had met sooner. No more than my right hand can absorb my left. Oliver is helping Nathaniel to recover. They both lie dormant, like trees awaiting spring. Once the curse is lifted, they can stand as one or as a pair. Whatever they wish. I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend, once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. See Nathaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does. I can't say for certain, but we'll see it come to pass long before this place recedes behind us. Don't worry. All is at hand. We can depart whenever you're ready. I have. But perhaps there is more that I want. Anyway, once the curse is lifted, nature can take its course without me. I belong at your side. And I'm glad to be had. Glad to be with you, I mean.
No substance. I owe you an apology. I saw you as a means to escape, nothing more. But when the sky lit up, when I followed it here, I knew you were behind it. I apologize for not seeing your true worth, and for being, quite frankly, rude in Last Light. I wasn't sure you would. I appreciate it. And that's precisely why I want you by my side in Baldur's Gate. The Iron Hand gnomes are going to save the city, and you can be part of it. The plan is what it's always been. To bring the work and innovations of the Iron Hand gnomes to every corner of the realm. Problem is, Baldur's Gate is sick. Once the pinnacle of greatness, it's eating itself alive to save itself from starving. Find me in the city. And once you see what it's become, you'll know that I, and I alone, can stop it. Bring every scrap of courage you have to Baldur's Gate. You'll need it for what's to come. It's finally time for the Iron Hand gnomes to come home. No traps, please.
Ready?
Ready enough?
Gods, I can't wait. You need to eat before we head off.
There is work to do.
Yes.
Take you.
No.
A little.
No one stopped me yet. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
seems simple enough. What's up for discussion?
There you are. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Come closer. Feel my voice rattle your bones as I proclaim our victory. Moon Maiden Selûne, hear me! Ketheric Thorm, traitor, apostle of Merkel, is dead at last. My mate, Most High. Darling Isabel is safe and well. Safe and well, and return to my embrace. Blessings upon the slayer of the Wicked One. We are a powerful party indeed. Faerun itself trembles at our touch. My darling Isabel says we will stay allied at your side. I am pleased to hear it. Pray, ask, and I will tell. Do I not radiate with my mother's brightness, her glory? There can be no doubt. I am of her silvered flesh, her celestial womb. Why, she already has. She has brought her sword to your side, Dame Aelin. So mighty are her wonders, her great wisdom. Together, we will set this fair land free of tyranny and murder. Ketheric Thorm, father of my one and only love, enslaver of Dame Aelin. Ketheric Thorm never did trust me, even when he worshipped the Moon Maiden. He was threatened by my love for Isabel, by her love for me. When she died, curse the day, the hour, we each of us mourned bitterly. But Ketheric's pain could be touched by no aid, no boundary. He turned to wretched Shah, the Lady of Loss, for relief. And she whispered into his ear, poisoning his mind. He and his loathsome advisor, Balthazar, lured me into the Shadowfell, claimed they'd found someone in need of my aid. There, they trapped me in their infernal cage. I was killed, murdered, made dead over and over and over by justiciars of every make and kind. I was reborn, for it is my nature. And Ketheric fed upon my immortality all the while. But lo, the brute is dead, and we live!
I can't believe it. I can't believe Aelin is here. And my father. I heard what happened. What he'd become. By killing him. You set him free. You set Aelin free. And me. A great deal. But still, some of the details elude me. Ketheric Thorm was my father. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. Tell me, do you believe in love at first sight? That's exactly it. And I tell you, I took one look at her and I just knew she was it. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... And this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped. I didn't know that then, but I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now. Said that Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows. Made a shelter there. Prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land. My home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them. And myself. No matter what. It's all out in the open now. And with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aelin. She needs healing. Rest. I'm grateful for your help. Your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long. But I'm grateful for a safe place to... well... just to be.
The shadows are losing their grip on these lands. Shah can indeed be thwarted. Comforting to know.
I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker-in, historically. The thing that will decide my fate forevermore. Yes, it's been on my mind. Why? Well, of course I've thought about it. If I completed the ritual instead of Cazador, I'd get all that power. And I could walk in the sun without fear I'd turn into a mind flare. Of course, I don't even know if I could complete the ritual. It may be impossible, but it certainly is tempting.
The curse is broken and the shadows are lifting. In time, these lands will heal.
The shadows are lifted. Finally, we can breathe free.
Wish we could stay and see what this place will be like without the shadows. I bet it's beautiful. No rest for the wicked, huh? He got his claws into me early. I was a wild kid, brawling my way through the city. One of my mates got wind of a bit of work guarding some indoorsy type with lots of enemies. Seemed like easy money, so I went in for it. He took one look at me and said I was perfect. I like that. Not like that, you know. Just... it felt like a good fit. I kept him safe, and he paid me well. Well enough to move my folks into a better neighborhood and put something away for the future. My future. I respected him. Trusted him. And he returned that trust, that respect. His life was in my hands, and I took that seriously. The whole thing with Zauriel happened so fast. I had no idea what had gone down until it was over. One minute I was in Baldur's Gate, a happy, healthy, not quite kid. The next, I was burning up in Avernus with an engine for a heart. Zauriel laughed. said she paid him well for my services. She'd wanted to test her new machine, and he said I'd be able to handle it. He was right. Sometimes I wish he weren't. Evil, evil bastard.
Well met. Are you sure? And just when...
What's on your mind?
Let's go, go, go.
I would not linger in this land over long, but whatever your business, I will aid you if I can.
I think we've done rather a good thing here. A welcome change to gift this land a sliver of hope amongst so much despair.
You saw Gortash, didn't you? What the fuck was he doing down there? Is all of this because of him? The tadpole, the absolute. How? I'd never have protected a Bay Knight even a decade ago. I looked after that fucker with my life. I trusted him. He gave me away to Zariel without a second thought. And now he's looking to ruin the entire Sword Coast! He has to die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him! He can't get away with what he's done. To me. To us. He won't get away with it. Making me sweat.
Looking ahead. Best be on my way. The Absolute armies are on the march, and Baldur's Gate is their target.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
The dog is unable to speak through the small bag he holds in his mouth.
I don't know. Maybe all I know is I thought of you when I saw it.
What do you know about me? You spoke of my past, being chased by wolves. I told no one about that. Almost no one. But I certainly didn't share that with you.
There is nothing I can tell you that you do not already know yourself. They trained you well, trained you hard. Chiseled away any part of you that did not fit their plan. They made you forget.
I chose to do that. For the mission to protect Shah's...
Secrets. Yes, yes, that is an old song, girl. Your goddess cares more for her precious secrets than she does her devotees.
Get to the point.
When you freed me, you severed a bond between me and that dog, Thorm. A bond of pain. His, inflicted on me. When I laid eyes on you, I sensed a similar bond. You, tethered to two others. Someplace distant. Let me help you remember.
You feel Shadowheart's mind tug at the edges of your own. You know this sensation. She wants you to see whatever is about to be revealed. Your mind joins with Shadowheart's. Something pulls at you both, bringing you elsewhere.
What? Who was that man?
You already know. Did you not see yourself in him? Do you not recognize your own blood?
My father. That was him.
That is him. He lives still. And your mother, too.
No. It can't be. I'm an orphan.
And who told you that? Your adoptive family? You are not to blame. You were young, impressionable. They took you because they wanted to break and remake you. But you are a child no longer. You are a woman. One who knows what must be done.
My parents. I need to save them.
Your parents are with your abductors. You will need to return to their lair. But be warned. You may have once thought of them as comrades, mentors, friends, even lovers. They will all be enemies now. You have been forewarned for what is to come, but not yet forearmed. I was able to retrieve it before it sank too far into Shah's umbral domain. Shah is quick to discard whatever she has no use for. I think you know that well enough. But I felt it call to me as I took flight. Whatever Shah calls her own, Selûne has equal claim to. They are one and the same. Their power is matched and mirrored. Take it. You will find it useful. What you do with it, that will be up to you. Same as before.
I'll need every advantage, it seems. Thank you.
A debt repaid. You returned my life unto me. Now go and claim your own.
It hurts.
Shah torments you still. What a spiteful creature she is. This will not stop until you take action. See that your parents' sacrifices are not in vain. Allow the Moon Maiden to guide you at last.
You did it. Ketheric Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is broken. Soon, the land shall heal. Not as glad as I am. Nature moves at its own pace, and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
I'll give it a shot.
I've been lied to. My whole life. And I was gullible enough to just believe it. My parents are alive, and I have to save them. I think a part of me always knew that. A part that Shah denied to me. Indeed. But the truth may yet prove painful. Who knows what Shah still keeps from me? We'd better press on for now, and hope we're ready when the moment comes. But before that, there's one thing I need to see to. You'll see for yourself soon enough. Just leave it with me.
The curse has been lifted, the land's cleansed of the shadows. Ketheric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed.
Sergeant, if you are here, I presume Wern's Rock is secure, and preparations for my inauguration are complete.
No, Lord Gortash. We were interrupted. Another quake in the lower city. More severe this time.
So you came cowering to my chambers? I'm flattered, Sergeant. But even I cannot command natural phenomena to cease.
Forgive me, my lord, but there is panic in the streets. The people are afraid.
Perhaps the people would be calm if you kept your nerve. I expect better from the Flaming Fist than to run scared from a slight tremor in the earth. Get back to your duties.
Duties, duties, duties. Patrolling and saluting and following and bowing and scraping and yes sir, no sir, rip and cut your throat, sir. Your plan is falling apart, lordling. Give me a reason not to cut you to ribbons.
Control yourself, Orin. We need to focus on reuniting the stones or the brain will break free. These quakes are just the start. Neither of us expected the Prism Bearers to kill Ketheric. They'll be traveling to the city. Let's make sure we give them a Baldurian welcome.
My prodigal bloodkin is among them.
They live?
Barely. I made mince of their ugly mind matter. And if they dare return, I will strip out their offal.
This should do nicely for a camp.
Beyond the campsite, the city waits in uneasy silence, one sleep away.
Poor Shadowheart. She's been jerked around so much. I want to believe the gods keep this world balanced, but sometimes I wonder.
Don't waste a step. Speak up.
Shadowheart has found a little bit of herself again. Selûne cannot take all of the credit. She may have lit the way, but it is the cleric who took this step. That speaks well of your taste. I've heard my share of bad ballads about things I never did. If you have questions, ask. Just don't expect my answers to rhyme. More than I would like. In my youth, I was a brief and very much unwilling member of a colony's hive mind. I felt the way they think, saw the world as they do. Foul, unnatural creatures who find the foulness in us and twist it to their will. But then, who am I speaking to? You have far more experience than I. I believe you. You remind me of another I knew, marked by forces beyond their control. The gods can grant power or strip it away, but so long as your will remains, you have the only weapon you need. Ask it. It was Baal alone we faced in our time. And bad as that was, he had no elder brain for a lapdog then. Help won't come from the history books, or from any old tales I can spin you. This is your story to write. There. Have I fulfilled my role as your wise and wizened elder? I've passed enough years that counting them is a waste of what remains. Which is to say, yes, I am that old.
Almost pleasant traveling with company, if you ignore all the less pleasant aspects. Fine. What's on your mind? How are you holding up? Don't be so modest. I can't remember the last time I met someone like you. Perhaps I never did. And never will again.
Taken from the light to be raised in darkness. Your truth is finally dawning, Shadowheart. You can follow its light, or you can retreat back into dusk. The truth is finally dawning. Shadowheart can follow its light, or she can retreat back into dusk.
Shadowheart was no true child of Shah. Merely a captive. She must have her vengeance.
Painful truths have been thrust upon Shadowheart. I believe she is strong enough to endure, but her path will be easier with our support. What would you like to know? Anytime. I've been unfair to you. I've had unrealistic expectations of your character ever since I joined you. But honestly, you've surpassed even those. Seemed my faith was more than well-founded.
At least Shadowheart is armed with the truth now. May its keen edge draw forth whatever vengeance she desires.
The gate is closed, as is Cazador. Cazador and his rite of profane ascension. An imperious soiree, attended by devils and spawn alike. A grand ceremony to honor one exalted vampiric master. And elevate him to an unfathomable station. To place him in a position of such esteem. The world will yearn to kneel and offer their necks. We will kill him, but there's more to it. Think about it. It sounds like Cazador, for all his evils, has gotten further than any of my kind ever have. He's on the verge of a miracle. If the time comes and I can stay one move ahead of him, I'll take his place before his blood can hit the floor. Let's find out more about the ritual before we waltz into Cazador's front door. If we track down my old comrades, the other spawn, we may discover more and be finally positioned for yours truly to ascend. My, you sweetheart. Then there isn't a moment to waste. If we don't find my brethren, they'll find us, likely with bared fangs. We should get to them first. Then we can make their pretty tongues talk. Unless Cazadors change their orders, they'll be in the dens of this town, seeking prey.
What's on your mind? I question the wisdom. I'll be here.
So, and here I was, worried I'd be the only one with a difficult family reunion waiting in the city. Darling, lead on.
Here we go.
The events of the last days weigh heavily upon you. Sleep's rest is slow to come to one whose mind is so full. The Absolute is not a god, but an elder brain controlled by the chosen of the Dead Three. They mean to use it to take control of the Sword Coast. All who carry the tadpole are governed by the brain, and by extension the chosen. It will take but one order to transform them into an army of mind flayers. This would have been your fate too, were it not for the astral prison and the mysterious visitor inside of it. With her help, you have uncovered the cult for what it really is. A plan of conquest orchestrated by the gods of death themselves. Together, you have the power to thwart the Dead Three. If you follow this path to its end, the Elder Brain will not answer to the Chosen. It will answer to you. And what then? You are prone to impulses as uncontrollable as the gods themselves. Will you even have a say in what you do? Will you liberate the true souls from their parasites and their religious delusions? Or will you use the power you gain for your own purposes? Even as you utter the words to yourself, you know it is but an intention. And these dark desires of yours have little regard for your intentions. You will not have long to wait. All you need to do now is sleep. But sleep is not for you.
The reckoning is upon us! The city serves for domination. March! Join power.
We're under attack. Help me. Here goes.
That thing's not going to hold together much longer.
Where's our dream guardian?
I'm here. Help me. I'm under attack.
A long way to go still.
What's the story?
Blood comes easy these days.
not over. Come to the skull.
What's in here? Breathe deep and move.
It's not over. Hurry. I can't hold them back alone. It's not over. Come to the skull.
Before you do anything, I am your ally. We are in danger.
Oh, shit. A Mind Flayer?
The Githyanki is the source of our protection against the Absolute. I must subdue him, or everything we've worked towards is lost. Don't let my form deceive you. I am the one that's been protecting you. I am the one that came to you in your dreams. Help me. You saved a child from a viper back in the Druid's Grove. You saved the Asima Night Soul from her soul cage. You let me live last time you were here, though it brought Blackheath's wrath upon you. Your continued existence as yourself, and not a Mind Flayer, should be all the proof you need. Now, help me. The God. Destroy the God. They prevent me from subduing their master. Do it now! Together, we can turn the tide.
take you.
What now?
For Orpheus! Attacker!
Time to push my luck again. Cutting to the chase.
Can't afford to let up.
Time to move.
It can't be. Fall by my hand.
Thank you. That was too close. Don't look at me like that. I am a mind flayer. Yes. Without me, you would be a slave to the Absolute.
A mind flayer? How is this possible? Gods, we've been so blind.
You grew attached to a mere disguise, but you judge without even knowing me. I was someone once. Someone just like you. An adventurer. I came from Baldur's Gate. though I was never one to be constrained by circumstance. I longed for more. That longing brought me to Moonrise Towers on a search for treasure. To a colony of mind flayers who caught me, changed me into what I am now. For years, I served the Elder Brain, the one you know as the Absolute. I was a thrall like any other, but I was fortunate. I broke free and started a new life in my old city. I sustained myself on criminals. Unglamorous, but there are plenty of them, rarely missed. And they fueled me while I did my work. I had the good fortune to meet Duke Stelmane. We formed a partnership, and through her, I became the governing force behind the Knights of the Shield, the largest mercantile operation in Baldur's Gate. People referred to me as the Emperor. Such was my influence, though of course they had no idea what I really was. My needs were sated. I was happy for a while, until my true nature was discovered by the tyrant himself, Lord Gortash. He tore me from my home and brought me back to the Brain, where I became a slave once again. A slave he continued to call the Emperor. The name was intended as a slight, to remind me of the heights from which I fell. But I have grown fond of it. It encapsulates well who I've become. Indeed, his hubris knows no bounds. To enslave me, that was his nature. But to enslave an Elder Brain, a questionable decision. I shall look forward to sharing his downfall with you. Rather than potential future allies, like you. We fought to tame Prince Orpheus, the son of Gith herself. His power has been the source of your continued protection against the voice of the Absolute. The power to disrupt hive mind communication. It is the same power that enabled Orpheus's mother to bring about the fall of the Illithid Empire eons ago. A power she passed on to him, and that I leveraged for you. When Orpheus's mother left, a usurper took her place. Blackith declared herself queen of the Githyanki. Blackith wanted his power, but Orpheus rose against her, and so she sealed him and his honor guard within this prison. Bound by infernal chains, Orpheus could never leave. Bound by duty, his guard never would. They were close to breaking my hold on that prince. And if they had succeeded, we would be lost. I am relieved. You have embraced your potential enough that you could help me eliminate them. Alone, Orpheus will be much easier to control. Most certainly Orpheus. He is a threat to her reign. Some Githyanki still revere him in defiance of their teachings. Blackith was safe as long as they believed him to be dead. But as you can see, he is very much alive. She kept him this way because she was reluctant to eradicate such power. Power that she might one day wish to take from him. If the Githyanki ever find out what she has done, there will be civil war. Blackith will be finished. No. Gortash sent me on a mission to retrieve the Astral Prism. I was one of many, but the first to find it. How Gortash or the other Chosen learned of its existence, I do not know. The moment I found it, I felt a change. My free will returning. I followed the feeling inside, and found Orpheus. I realized what the prism was for. Containment. While my body was within the prism's bounds, my mind was free. I could resist the Elder Brain, the Chosen. Better yet, I could plan to overthrow them. All I needed to do was subdue Orpheus and find allies in the outer world. You. That would be a terrible idea. The moment he is free, he will attack you. Your only defense would be to kill him, and in so doing, he would doom us both.
Even though he is subdued, you feel Orpheus's revulsion, a pulsing hatred that cannot be contained. The Emperor is telling the truth. To him, you are just another wretched illithid.
You carry a tadpole. As far as Orpheus is concerned, you are already a Lithid, a sworn enemy, just like me. I'm glad you think so. I agree. But there is one thing that you have that I do not. My original body was destroyed when I transformed. Yours continues to limit you. As an Illithid, I have far surpassed who I ever was before. You, too, should embrace this change. I believe we'll have a better chance of defeating the Elder Brain if you embrace your latent Illithid potential. I've been studying you for a while now. I believe I can trigger the next stage of your tadpole's life cycle, while continuing to preserve your independence. You have seen what I can do. Imagine yourself with the same strength, the same intelligence, the same devastating beauty. If you let me, I can evolve you. The answer is twofold. One, I can, but it would kill you, as I told you before. Two, why would I? You have done well with the limited form you have, but you would do far better as an Illithid. So, do you wish to evolve or not?
Even as you say the words, you feel a lurch of disappointment. Your mind bristles with Illithid potential. How could you be so cruel as to deny yourself what you want most in the world?
I felt that. It's your nature. You cannot fight it. So embrace it. It wants to evolve, but it cannot do so alone. It must commune with another.
A wave of disappointment, stronger than any you've ever felt. And then, stillness. You have resisted your Illithid instincts. For now.
You are not ready yet. Keep hold of it then, until you are. It has enough vitality to further your evolution, and your allies. Perhaps you will be more inclined to try it when you see more of what our enemy can do. But we mustn't lose focus. We need to resume our journey. You heard the Chosen. The Brain has gone to the city, and the army marches to follow. We must not let them reach it. We must find the Brain, and bring it under our control.
No time to rest. One day I'll catch a break. Anything of use? Better not be cursed.
There better be a soft bedroll in my near future.
So, there's been a mind flayer inside the artifact, or astral prism, the whole time we've had it. Sounds like utter madness, even though I've seen it with my own eyes. The more I learn, the less I understand just why I was sent to retrieve that thing. But it matters little now. I do not serve Shah anymore, nor the Mother Superior. The prism is no longer my mission. Saving my parents is. But I digress. Did you want something?
Hey.
So, we owe our lack of tentacles to one of the very creatures that kidnapped us. And now it's offering us power, if we're willing to evolve. We both know what it is capable of, but I'm not touching it. Good. I wouldn't have anyway. If we master the tadpoles, it will be different. But right now, that mastery depends on an Illithid and its Githyanki slave. I'm not going to submit to this. Don't ask me again. Careful, I bite.
still breathing, despite everything.